All right, today's video, we're looking at a unique one from Tod Cutler. This is the Scottish Swirk. It's the sword dirk. So it's a Scottish one. They list some specs, up close looks, and a little bit of movement with this one from Tod Cutler. All right, first impressions on the Scottish Swirk. This is a what might have been design, so from Tod Cutler. He does a lot of really unique stuff, so make sure you check out his stuff at cultofathena.com and also his website. But we carry a lot of his stuff. That way it's just, you can check it out. So he makes a lot of really cool messers, daggers, different types of swords. And essentially, if you don't know what a Scottish dirk is, this would normally be mostly around like a dagger length, like a combat dagger length. And this is made into a sword length. It's about 34 inches of a sword length. It has a false edge. I'm gonna put the scabbard down just for right now. The false edge or the top edge, this is not sharpened. You can see that it folds in on both sides. You can probably sharpen it. You'd have to check with customer service if you want to add a sharpening service to that for, obviously for thrusting, different types of draw cuts and stuff like that. Pretty cool. So it's a really unique design. I think if you would have went shorter with this one, this is just my personal opinion, if you would have went not all out, if you would have went shorter, like around like maybe, I don't know, like a 20-inch blade rather than 34 inches, I think it would have just kind of looked like a Viking knife, and it wouldn't have really stood by itself on its own 2 feet. It would have just been like, well, I can just get something from Hanway or Topeka that's the same, but this thing is a beast. It's obviously more geared toward thrusting, it being essentially a dagger length sword. You can obviously still cut with it, but primarily going to be for thrusting. Okay, now moving on to the scabbard. All of his stuff is handmade, and just a little side note, these come butter knife sharp, so they're not really sharp at all. So if you want to add a sharpening service to do any type of cut testing, you're going to have to add that at cultofathena.com at checkout. So just to let you know that it's not like combat sharp or anything like that. So the scabbard, it's got some unique print on there. It also has a full sword belt. Full sword belt. You can see that's brass. And I'll get more up close looks of this in the up close section of this review. And then I really like the way that he tied the sword belt. It just looks really good. It kind of reminds me of Launchknecht as far as like just the craftsmanship. And Tod Cutler's got his own thing, but it just reminds me of some stuff that I've reviewed from LE before. So really, really good stuff. I like the feature that you will see on other Scottish dirks, this kind of ridged back, which is really cool. And it's a really unique blade profile. Goes back in the scabbard nicely. And yeah, that's the full kit. But obviously you have larger cuts. Where this thing is really gonna shine is going to be primarily in thrusting, even into like high thrusting positions. I mean, you could even get away with going into parries with it with how much blade length there is, especially if you're using this in a thrust-to-thrust interaction. You can obviously cut with it. You can get it around, but especially for the blade shape and the point of balance, this thing is going to really excel on the thrust. So that's what I have to say for movements. The handle, it's a circular handle, and the wood grip does allow good traction, where that is and does feel secure in the hand. Whether you want to position that into a hammer grip, if you did, with caution, with proper training, if you're going more intricate and more fine motor skill, you may want to add a saber grip just to see how it feels if you want to move through different thrusting positions. If you are cutting with this, I strongly recommend you go into that hammer grip. So yeah, that's what I have to say for the movement. All right, so thanks for joining me for this review of the Tod Cutler Swirk, the Scottish dirk sword. This one's available at cultofathena.com. Again, make sure to check out Tod Cutler's other daggers and swords available at KOA by clicking the link in the description below this video. I'm your host, Tom, for Kult of Athena's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. If you have any of Tod Cutler's stuff or you're interested in it, comment below and let me know what you like about his stuff. It's usually, it's unique. I really like the stuff that I've reviewed in the past, his other falchions and things like that. Also, make sure to check out those reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.